Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi Rachel Zerin here with a thought for Thanksgiving and Shabbat. We live in a time when it is almost as if there is a certain pressure to feel grateful. We often hear about all the benefits of keeping a gratitude journal. Walk into any store and you'll see shelves lined with products carrying the slogan, "Be grateful." And of course, we just celebrated Thanksgiving, a day dedicated to being thankful for all of the wonderful blessings in our lives. While gratitude is certainly important, it often leaves me wondering, what does this mean in a time when gratitude is hard to come by? How do we feel grateful in a world that often feels dark and cold and dangerous? There's a very powerful nuance in the Hebrew phrase that we would often translate as gratitude. Hebrew has no exact word for gratitude. Instead, in Hebrew, we talk about hakarat hatov, which literally translates as recognizing the good. While on the surface it might seem that recognizing the good and gratitude are the same, I would argue there is a difference, subtle but important, between gratitude and recognizing the good. Gratitude might encourage us to have a posture of always feeling grateful, while recognizing the good acknowledges that gratitude might not be our primary emotion. In fact, it might be hard to come by gratitude, but we can always recognize whatever good there might be in a given situation. This is illustrated beautifully in this week's Parashat Vayetzei. As Vayetzei opens, we find Jacob alone and afraid. At the end of last week's parasha, Jacob had to flee his home. He had just stolen the blessing from his brother Esav by tricking his father Isaac. Neither of them were particularly happy about this, and Esav in particular had threatened to kill his brother. And so Jacob leaves his home. He runs away and finds himself, as our parasha opens, alone and afraid, lying down at night in the middle of the desert with only a few rocks upon which to rest his head. As he sleeps, he has a dream of angels going down and up, up and down. And when he wakes, he realizes, how wonderful is this place? Surely this must be Beit Elohim, Beit El, the house of God. It would be hard for me to call Jacob grateful in this moment when he has been exiled from his home, this moment when he is alone and afraid and feels insecure, this moment when his very life is at risk from his own brother. And yet, in this moment, he offers hakarat hatov, recognition of the good and the wonderful and the divine in his presence and in his life. It's a beautiful illustration of the ways in which we also can live in dark and frightening times and still recognize the good and the holy that is around us. My hope for us this Thanksgiving weekend is that even in those moments when we have trouble feeling grateful, we are still able to recognize the good. And may we all have a Shabbat Shalom.